Welcome back for a third time. Same subject. I hope this ain't getting old. Hugh, are you tired over there?
Nah, I'm just
What
getting
you
going.
looking?
Well,
Anyway, we're
it is
doing
late.
underrated players. Hugh, you had a list of some underrated players that didn't make the cut. Um, is that disrespectful?
Well, I don't think so because then with them not making the cut, then we believe that they are more
Rated?
more
Rated?
more rated than these other players. So while they disrespect to some extent, it's not as bad as some of these other people.
But are we also acknowledging that where they're at is fine?
No, they should be
Hmm.
higher.
I mean, so if they're higher, then are they overrated?
No.
So which is it? They're just eh.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the guy here to help prove my point.
No, I want to start off and I want to say, Hugh, one of the guys you got as an honorable mention that didn't make the cut for underrated is Klay Thompson. You're wearing his jersey,
Yeah, Clay's my boy.
but he's not underrated. He's
Well,
just rated.
well, here's the thing with Clay, right? Everybody knows what Clay's about, but Clay, I don't want to say
Tell me what he's about.
I mean, he's, him and Steph obviously are the splash bros. But I mean, it's just like most of the time you're just hearing about Steph, or Steph's the one that everybody's going crazy about. You just got Clay kind of back there just doing his own thing. Um, I think without Steph, Clay could be a easy number one option for any team. I think he has that ability. Um, it's crazy to think about. Without like a Curry, what Clay would be able to put up on any given night. I think he could compete with the best of them. I could see Clay honestly like holding a scoring title. Like I think that highly of him. Everybody
Bro,
knows he's a
bro, bro, this sounds so good, man. I'm gonna have to interrupt you one more time because of what we talked about in part two. Man, this sounds like another big what if. If y'all want to see this what if, man, put hashtag what if in the comments because I want to ask you something, Hugh. What if the Golden State Warriors didn't have Steph Curry the second year Kevin Durant was there? Could they still have made it to the finals? Clay, Durant,
yeah, I
Draymond,
think so. I mean,
fair
obviously
enough.
losing Curry's a huge deal, but I mean, it's not like you didn't have anybody to pick up the slack. Clay's shooting, and Durant, everything he brings to the table, I feel like they'd still be able to carry the load there. Not as much excitement, the way the excitement that Curry brings to a game,
Oh, it
but
would be
yeah,
exciting when they go against Curry.
well, yeah, for real. But yeah, yeah, I could just see Clay. I think that highly of Clay, and not just because I'm a fan. Just what he does, and he's an amazing defender. I don't think he gets enough credit for his defense. It sucks.
He's
And
a
I feel
better
like people are,
defender than Steph Curry, you think?
yeah, easy. But I feel like a lot of people not, I wouldn't say forgetting about him, but I mean, like, man, it's been a while since he played, a while. So hopefully he can come back and be the sorry about that, be the player that he was. But yeah, I just miss Clay. I'm excited to have him back. But yeah, I just think extremely highly of Clay. I don't want to say he's underrated because like he's talked about, he makes All-Star games. He's talked about it as one of the best. But I mean, he's always just like a sidekick.
Yeah, well, he was kind of underrated, especially that last season with Durant, where it cost him money because he didn't make one of those NBA All-Star teams, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I'm not trying to go back too far because we're talking about now, but yeah, disrespect. But like you said, can't wait to have him back. Disrespect again. Don't forget about Clay. You know, it's like a remix Eminem and Dre song. Instead of "Don't forget about Dre" or "They forgot about Dre," they forgot about Clay. What do you think about that? You want to hear that song, don't you? Why don't you go ahead and DM Eminem for that song, bro?
I'll hit him up.
Okay, bro. All right. Hey, another guy on the list, not as big of a name, Lonzo Ball. I had him on the list because I felt like, again, this was one of the smartest things by accident that happened to the Pelicans is them not trading Lonzo Ball, not pulling off a trade. I feel like he gets disrespected, and he's definitely going to get even more disrespected or overlooked because of or underappreciated because of his brother being in the league now, his youngest brother LaMelo, because he's definitely balling. Of course, he's out now for the rest of the season, but Lonzo, I think he's in a great situation with Zion. He's going to be underrated for what he provides for that team. He probably won't make an all-star while he's there unless they are a team that can definitely climb up the ranks and stay in top four, for like a whole season. And maybe he can make an all-star appearance, but him being like a third option on the team at most times, kind of hurts his case as far as that. But, don't sleep on that guy because I like what he brings for that team.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out Lonzo. I mean, I was never huge on him when he was play with the Lakers. I feel like his play was pretty streaky, and he wasn't gonna amount to his expectations. But yeah, since going to New Orleans, I mean, he's kind of turned a new leaf there. I mean, dude's a baller. I saw last night that Zion and Brandon Ingram didn't play, and Lonzo actually had 8 3-pointers, his career high. So I mean, that's extremely impressive. That's Curry like threes in a game. I mean, 8 is hard to get to. So shout out Lonzo. I mean, yeah. One thing that impresses me with Lonzo is his vision. I think he's getting better at his passing, and obviously, in New Orleans area, there's a lot of options to give it to. So yeah, I mean, I just think that system fits him well. I think not having the spotlight always on him is good as well. Being from that family, and obviously getting drafted to the Lakers, you had a lot of attention, a lot of media attention, whether it was good or bad. So I feel like maybe taking a step back in New Orleans there, being on a team with other superstars where they get especially get a lot of attention. I think that could be a good thing for him and just help him go under the radar and improve his game a little bit there. But yeah, shout out Lonzo.
Yeah, shout out to Lonzo for sure. Both Ball brothers. Hubert on the list, bro. Hey, honorable mentions for underrated. I think I sold you on this guy earlier in the season, especially when we were heavy into fantasy this year, bro. Jeremy Grant, bro. Underrated or not, bro?
Yeah, underrated.
What did I tell you?
I had never
What
even
was
heard
my
it. To be
description
honest,
of Jeremy Grant when you were like, why would I want Jeremy Grant? What was the description I gave you?
you said he's a poor man's Jason Tatum.
He's a poor man's Tatum.
Hey, the way Tatum was playing after COVID, I might rather take Jeremy Grant, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I had never heard of Jeremy Grant before this season, so I couldn't even
What?
tell you who he played on.
That's because he was a role player. He played for us. I mean, he wasn't on our team as far as his first team in the league, but his role really started expanding with us in OKC. He was known as like a 3-and-D type of guy who could shoot corner three, had some defensive abilities, obviously. And that, he provided a big spark plug for us sometimes. But outside of that, he went to the Denver Nuggets. And for the Denver Nuggets, he provided exceptional depth there, playing the small forward and power forward positions. So giving them a little bit more versatility. But, wanting to move on, wanting to get a contract, wanting to land in the destination where he can kind of expand his game and show off his talents, he came to Detroit this year. And Detroit's like, basically let him loose in this big rebuild mode that they're in.
Yeah, and it's worked out pretty good for him. Like if you're saying that, it sounds like before all he's had is pretty much role, just playing role positions. It sounds like now he's the guy, at least right now, in Detroit. That's one reason you don't hear much of him. He's in Detroit and they're last or second to last in the standings or whatever. So yeah, a team on complete rebuild mode. But I mean, yeah, shout out Jeremy Grant. He's does put up extremely Tatum-like numbers. I mean, easily 20s, if not 30s, every game, which is impressive. Detroit doesn't have many things going great for him, but he's one guy to look up to. I remember you talking about him before, and you were talking about he said he went there because they were going to let him. How did you word it? He wanted to have his. You said something about what he said why he went there. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I was kind of touching on that. He wanted to basically have a role where he could be like, in a sense, a go-to guy player where, not necessarily building around him, but just kind of let him have free reign of what he wants to do on the team and expand his game. And obviously, like I said, Detroit was a great destination because that's what they were doing. And maybe that's why, you had that trade rumor of the Boston Celtics wanting to get Grant because he is an exceptional role player when he's in that position. But, I guess Detroit wanted to honor him and not trade him because that's primarily the reason why he went there. He didn't want to go to a team where, okay, let me jump on board and win a championship. I just want to expand my game and show my talents. Like this guy wants to become an all-star, apparently.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, shout out Detroit there. Him wanting to go there to be the guy and help better his game and that stuff. And then it was probably extremely tempting for them to trade him. A team in rebuild mode. Trading him, knowing how good of a season he's having, they get a lot of assets more. But yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I'm sure it was extremely tempting. Hearing the Celtics calling about him. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the Celtics target the wrong dude. Wrong dude. I
yeah,
can't express the frustration anymore. Not that I'm rooting for the Celtics. It's just like, bro, what are you doing?
that's true.
Oh yeah. So going back to our list, we're trying to do 5 players here to stick with the format of what we had on the first 2 parts of this. Uh, I guess this wasn't in a particular order, but the 4th guy on our list, Chris Paul. Chris Paul is an underrated player. You think he's just underrated this season or underrated all the time, bro?
I'd say all the time. To be honest, I mean, he was with you all and helped y'all outstandingly. Help Shea. I think a lot of Shea, his development. You can put Chris Paul with a lot of
Yeah,
that.
I definitely like that he was able to do that for us. And shout out to Shea Gilgis Alexander, shout out to OKC, and shout out to Chris Paul. But yeah, to be honest, when we got him, I was like, yeah, we're probably not going to have him very long. We'll probably trade him sometime during the season. Obviously, he wasn't somebody we're going to try to keep and build around because that just would have been not the best move for our sake going into the future. But, for him and what he was able to do, and especially since he was able to stay in the conversation as far as one of the better point guards in the league for so long speaks a lot about his game. But he was also able to stay healthy all last year, and that's the first time we've seen that in a while. And I feel like Phoenix definitely got a nice pickup. I don't think for me that he's too underrated, but the reason why he didn't make the initial list is because they did give him the all-star nod this year, and I think he deserved it, especially when Booker was missing a few games and he was help carrying the team. Then they had that turn point where they were basically losing some games, and he basically spoke up and said, "Hey, we need to get our stuff together." And when they come out, they start winning games, bro. So that's pure leadership there, and I can't express that enough. Every time I talk about Chris Paul, it's just so consistent throughout his career. The only negative I could speak on him is just health. So if he keeps that going, yeah, yeah, this is a dude that most would consider outside of his prime at this point in his career as far as age. I think he's like same age as LeBron or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, like you touched on, my biggest thing with Chris Paul is his leadership. And going to these young teams and helping develop these guys and showing them the ins and outs. I don't think Phoenix would be where they were right now without Chris Paul. To be completely honest with you, a lot of their success this year I think falls on him. And like I said, helping develop players. The one thing with Chris Paul that I would touch on, he's not an elite scorer by any means. In my opinion, I think there's been plenty of games this year where he hasn't even reached double figures scoring. So I mean, you don't always look for that, but I mean, it's just his knowledge and everything else he brings. I mean, I think it. I don't think he is now, but I think at one point earlier in the season he was averaging 9 assists a game or something. I think he's done like 7 now, but I think early on in the season it was like 9. Uh, 9 point something. I mean, that's impressive. And just his knowledge and his basketball IQ, been playing in the league for that long, and like you said, the same age as LeBron or whatever. So I mean, he just knows a lot, and he just teaches those young guys and helps develop them. And yeah, I do see what you said about him making the All Star game this year. I think he deserved it too. So you can't say he's too underrated because he's getting appreciated some, but I don't think that Phoenix would be anywhere close to where they were at right now if they didn't have Chris Paul.
I see this somewhat as like kind of a redemption for him as well with this season with the Phoenix Suns, of them being a potential deep playoff team, because I feel like he still has some bitterness as far as what his situation was with the Houston Rockets, with the great talent that they had on the team. Obviously, him playing alongside James Harden and then making it as far as the Western Conference against y'all back in 2018, 19, maybe 2019, and making it that far. And he once again was hurt, and James Harden couldn't finish the job, so they lost that round there. But yeah, for him, like being where he's at with the Phoenix Suns and being able to revive that role of leadership in the playoffs. And this is why you brought me in type of mentality. Like, this is going to be huge for him. So as long as he stays healthy, yeah, Phoenix has a big advantage of having this player. And like I said, again, one of those borderline underrated players, definitely a Hall of Famer. Should be first ballot. I mean, when it's all said and done, definitely if he gets a chip on his resume, but we'll see what happens from here. We'll see what happens next. Okay.
It took me like 2 seconds to process what you were doing right there, but I like it.
Okay, well, I'm
It
glad to
took
have
me
you
a
back,
second.
Hugh.
It took me a second.
Hey, glad to have you back, Hugh. But we're about to finish up this honorable mentions list, and this is a guy you were pretty high on. Did you have him on the list, or was it me that had him on the list? You, me,
You
me,
had him.
you. Nah, bro, I'm gonna put this on you, bro. I was just doing it for
You
your
had
sake.
him because I was kind of surprised you had him.
Hey, I'm doing it for your sake, bro. Karl Anthony-Towns, big cat, overrated, underrated. I didn't really know where to put him. I wanted to put
Bro,
him on
he's kind of
underrated, and
both
then I
if you
was thinking
think
about
about it.
you. Huh?
He's kind of both if you think about it.
He's both at times because of I expect the greatness on a consistent level, and I expect him to be that vocal leader and to push the team. Like I said, they didn't win today's game. It looked like they had D'Angelo Russell back, so that's a big help. But
Yeah.
I put on my IG and my Instagram over the weekend, bro, after they just played against the Sixers, and he dunked on Embiid. That's what I want to see all the time. That's what I want to be seeing consistently, is you getting up and going against your opponents aggressively. Like, him and Embiid have disputes going back, previous season, where they tussled on the floor and,
Yeah.
basically fell over, a milder version of Chuck and Shaq from back in the day. But yeah, I mean, that's what I want to see, man. You going against your competition head to head and you taking it home, bro, and you're delivering. And I think they still wind up losing the game, but just that intensity, that's what I want to see. I want you to be big cat, not small cat, big cat. I want you to be like, yeah, I'm dominating, like just being there, being your opponent's face, be that guy. I don't want to go against that team because of that one dude right there. Like, I'm tired of dealing with him because he could definitely put up the numbers. And he's definitely got the talent. And I feel like he's got more talent. A guy who has yet to enter his prime years in the league. This guy is just, like I said, he could go one way or the other for me. I think earlier this year I talked about how, I felt like he's where he needed to be because he's not talked about a lot, because he's not doing enough consistently to make a big splash. You see where the Timberwolves record is, but maybe with Donovan Mitchell, my gosh, I think they wish they had him. Maybe with D'Angelo Russell coming back, this would be a turnaround. And if they could stay healthy into next year, because it's a little late for the rest of this season, we could see maybe a jump for them. And hopefully a jump in Karl Anthony-Towns' talent, because, like I said, something needs to motivate him to be better than what he is. Hashtag stay better is what I like to say. And, just see him become back to an all-star. And yeah, I get it. He puts up great numbers, and you can make the case that he should be an all-star. But when you're in the West, it's loaded. So make sure you lock that in and you seal it up where people want to make sure, hey, I don't care what his record is, what team he's on. He's an all-star caliber player. Give it to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with mainly what you touched on. It's kind of weird though, because he is like, a little both. At times I think he's overrated, and at times I think he's underrated. Um, I think one of his biggest things is his injuries. It I don't know. It's been a while since he's been on the floor for. Has he ever played even a whole season?
I
I
can't
mean, I don't
really give
think
you
so.
that
I know
answer,
he's
but
pretty young, but
he might
but
have
I
been on the
mean,
floor more time in his rookie season. I can't remember, but yeah, it seems like he has repetitive injuries, not to the extent of Joel Embiid, but yeah, like you said, just kind of on and off the court at times.
yeah. And unfortunately, he had COVID this year. What he missed a while with it. I think it was like 2 months with it and getting over it and getting healthy again. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like a lot of stuff you touch on. I mean, the dude has amazing potential. I mean, just uh his I mean his ceiling is just so high. I think of what he can accomplish. So hopefully he can just keep developing, stay healthy. And yeah, Minnesota can put the right pieces around him. And I mean they have a good foundation, I believe, with Karl Anthony and D'Angelo Russell. I'm pretty big on D'Angelo Russell as well. Not really this season, but in the past. But yeah, I mean, I'm big on Cat. I just think,
He should
like
be.
I
I
said, he's
mean,
young and
just to interject, he should be on the level where you know how we talk about Dame and we compare him to Steph as far as greatness to greatness. Like it should
yeah,
be like that with Karl Anthony-Towns. He should be always and constantly compared to Anthony Davis. Greatness to
yeah,
greatness. Both
I,
coming out of
I
Kentucky,
agree.
and he's younger than AD, and he could be an evolutionized version of AD and just be better. Like use that as your peer, as your your ceiling as far as your goal. I guess I shouldn't say ceiling, but like as a goal to get there and then to be better than that person. You know, like I said, the talent is there. There's no doubt about the talent. It's just bringing that assertiveness, that AKA Kobe mentality that we talk about sometimes with some of these younger players. Who has it, who's not, who doesn't have it, because that can just make you onto a different level in the game.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I mean, I think you know, uh, Cat he can take over. He can be extremely dominant. Yeah, hopefully he just keeps developing. Like I said, I mean, the dude has amazing potential. So it's like at times I think he's overhyped. At times I think he's underhyped. This season, I don't know. Like I said, it's probably both again this season. I mean, the dude's talked about a lot more than some of these other guys, but I mean, he missed so much time this year with injuries. But um, I mean, yeah, I saw like his first or one of his first games back. He came up and almost put up 40 or something like that. So I'm like, I mean, the dude can ball, but yeah, that dunk on Embiid was nasty. That's something he needs to come with every game. That intensity, and I think he would just continue to get better if he does stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Come with that intensity. Just don't get hurt in the process. But yeah,
Facts.
Hugh, yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to all the fans, all the listeners, all the subscribers, all the viewers. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you like the channel, give us a sub. We're putting out content. We're putting out the podcast not only here on YouTube, but also on our, places where you can find our podcast for the audio only versions, Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, and Spotify. But yeah, if you're on YouTube, please put it in the comments section if you want to see what we hopefully might make into new material in here, and hashtag what ifs, where we do what if scenarios in the league, whether it be here in the more recent past or just currently or upcoming. I think that'll be interesting, and see what we think about that. But yeah, continue to support if you like. Uh, we're open to ideas as we keep rolling out content. But like I said in the last video, the part two of this is be on the lookout for the PPFs at the end of the week for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, two Miami Heat players there. And yeah, we'll hopefully do another podcast tomorrow. Maybe come up with a Hugh Weekly, and we got to do a debate, Hugh. We basically agreed on this list because we compiled it together. So we'll have something else that we might want to talk about. But yeah, on episode 15, we hope to record that for y'all and get that out there and talk about hopefully the overrated players, the reverse side of this, and get into that, Hugh. So yeah, once again, shout out to all the fans and all the subscribers, and shout out to all our friends who sub and supporting us. You know, I still feel like I said before, everybody who's with us right now still our day ones, and we're still getting a little bit more people in as far as our group of friends that we personally know. But yeah, welcome to all newcomers. You know, if you find this interesting, hit us up. You know, I'm starting to get a little bit more active on our Twitter, Kish underscore YZ, and Instagram under the same as well. Hugh, tell the people where they can find you on IG, bro. They want to DM you or whatever it is you do on IG.
Yeah, so it's Matt Sprouse, SPROUSE _24.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Go ahead and give us out some shout outs, bro.
Um, Shout out Isaac. I know you gave him a shout out, but yeah, he subbed and we went a couple days without shouting him out. So yeah, sorry about that, Isaac. But yeah, shout out Isaac. We appreciate your support.
Okay, and Hugh, yeah. Also, just to mention some of our other clips on this channel as far as segments, we got to get you on here for a shoes video, bro. You getting them things cleaned?
Oh yeah. Well, I will soon though.
I'm sorry, you sound like a Muppet. What was that?
Sorry, not yet.
All right. Well, dirty or clean, I'm gonna give you probably till the end of the week or Sunday next week. So let's see those things roll out here on the camera, bro.
Sounds good.
All right. Any last words, Hubert?
Appreciate anyone that watched watch all these videos.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to the NBA fans. And like I said, with our other content that we put out, also put in the comments if you want to see anybody in particular that that you want to do, want us to do a PPF on, or anything like that as far as topics as well for our podcast. Once again, this has been Kicking It in the Second Half with Hugh, D, and Group. Thanks, everybody. Peace and love.